Today we're gonna go play my first disc golf tournament-ish of the year. Is it a real tournament? We'll definitely see. The only issue is I don't actually need my bag. Well, I'm gonna take it because I need to film and I have my little weird contraction up here. But I don't need any of these discs. I am gonna take my putters though because I always gotta practice putting after the round, but we don't need anything down there pretty much. As many putters as I can. As you can see, hopefully not, it's a bit late. It's just past 1 o'clock, and this tournament today is kind of a flex start-ish kind of thing. It's put on by a local shop here called Another Round Disc Golf Denver. I know that there's also one in Charlotte and Asheville, but I'm very grateful that anytime from 8 to 4 you can show up, and since it's not sanctioned, as long as there are 2 people who are playing, you can go and play. I'm gonna make some food real fast, then we'll get there, we'll pick a number, and then that will give us a bag, and that will include 3 discs, and those are the only discs that we can use. Not trying to have a great score, just trying to have some fun and be a little competitive because I want to see kind of where I stack up just playing good golf and show you guys those full 18 holes. And maybe I win. I don't even know if there are any prizes or anything. I did 5 hours of field work yesterday, so I slept a lot if you watch that video. That was yesterday, but shout out Jomez for getting me through the mornings and pasta for breakfast, baby. So I'm pretty sure my GoPro, I dropped it on the way over because it wasn't actually fully screwed into this mount, and I'm pretty sure the audio broke. So I was gonna have a mic'd up round, but not anymore.
Let's draw the magic number here.
73, it's a good number.
Number 73, all right, back in the bag.
Yep.
Numero. And
what are we looking at?
there you go. Boom.
Ooh, interesting. Thank you.
Ooh, signal, a buzz,
and a hope.
Nice,
Awesome.
dude. That's a good scoring disc right there.
Hopefully.
Oh yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Hope. Never heard of this. And then of course the buzz, ESP buzz, of course. It's actually more domey than other buzzes that I've thrown, so I might actually like it. So I hope it's pretty needless to say, but I was not stoked about a 6-speed that was a -3-1 disc being my driver, because that means I pretty much have no forehand unless I'm forehanding a buzz. But we'll see how we make do. Everything's under about 400 feet. I think there's one that's somewhere in the 380 to 415 foot range. And this course is called Owl's Den. It's actually just 9 holes, so it'll be 2 loops of the same track. Didn't know what a good score would be, and I'm not really trying to shoot for a good score. I'm just trying to have a fun and good round. Doing all this field work and changing form stuff, everything's running through your head, so trying to quiet that. Who knows if my form's gonna look good? I haven't actually watched back this footage yet, but let's dive into the voiceover with some music because there's no audio from the day because my GoPro media mod did not want to work. So here we are stepping up on hole number 1. It's only 278 feet, basically straight ahead. But what's nice about this course in comparison to a lot of other ones in Denver is there's actually some woods or lines you have to hit, especially if you have to throw backhand. So I take the buzz here, honestly throw pretty much a perfect shot. There were calls for it to go in, didn't really have a chance, but when you land with a literal drop in, you're not really bad about starting your day. Hole number 2 plays a lot shorter than it actually is. It's 282 feet, but it's slightly downhill. Honestly, the optimal play is just chipping a forehand through those trees, but I don't really have a great disc for that. And as you guys know, I struggle with flat to ante shots, but we're gonna take the hope, try to turn it over. Honestly, don't land in the worst spot, but doesn't really give us a great look for a putt, and the GoPro is too low in the bag to really even see the basket, so I throw just to the left of the basket, good height, and it leaves me with a pretty tough comebacker to try to save par in the second hole. Never really like having to putt back into a headwind after already missing a putt, but draining that one felt really good. Moving into the shortest hole on the track, 216 foot par 3. And once again, since I'm not really forehanding much, don't really trust the buzz on the forehand at this point, I decided to throw the hope again and try to turn it over, which we all know was gonna go so well. Juiced it a little bit, so I got about 30 feet coming back. It felt honestly pretty good out of my hand. I think I'm used to a very glidey putter in my peers. Just that little bit of extra stability and a little bit bigger hand feel. It makes it a little harder putting with something that's not quite as shallow for me. But I could have also just committed more and made the putt, you know? Hole 4 here, just over 90 meters, straight ahead, but there is that tree on the right side, which kind of forces you to throw around, or just a really big hyzer, but I don't have anything fast enough to throw the big hyzer, or something stable enough to throw the forehand, so I was debating with the buzz for a while, and decided to just throw another straight to turnover shot with the hope. Actually finally turned something over a little bit, and ended up pretty decent, a little bit left of where I won, but I'm not really mad when this is the putt that I'm left with, pin high with the putter on the 290-something foot hole. Also, since this wasn't sanctioned on the tee pad, I actually threw the signal to see kind of how flippy it was. Left it pretty soft and it ended up turning a little bit. So there wasn't a lot of wind on this hole. A 6-speed, -3-1 does not leave me with a lot of opportunities when I already have a putter and a buzz, but there might be some places where we use it. Hole number 5 here, straight ahead, 325 feet, but there are actually a couple different gaps and heights to get right. Kind of get one of the gaps right, but got a little bit of tree love, which left me with a pretty long jump putt, but pretty much just trying to save par here. Hole 6 is pretty short, 270-ish feet, just straight ahead. There is that tree to the right though again, which is forcing a lot of either forehands or really good straight to turn shots. And up here, not a lot is as easy to turn over, especially when you're bad at throwing it on Anheuser. So I just throw the buzz in a forehand and just park it. Also, just because I'm throwing the buzz well today, don't tell me that I have to put it in my bag. I still hate how it feels in the hand, but any straight flying mid-range is gonna be a good disc. On to hole number 7, 338 feet, just over 100 meters, basically dead ahead. There is a gap that you have to hit about 200 feet down the fairway. The wind was kind of helping here. It was a left to right slight tailwind, meaning that if I turn this buzz over a little bit, it's gonna continue to glide and hopefully get the full 340 feet. Luckily, was honestly a pretty good shot, which left me with a pin-high look down at the basket. That one felt so good because I've really been practicing a lot of putting in the wind, and this was mostly a crosswind. So playing the drop correctly, I felt really good about, but this moves us into the longest hole on the track. 390 feet. UDISCS says 415, but I'm gonna call it under 400. I'm taking the signal for the first time and gonna try to throw it well, but throwing a flippy disc with a little bit of wind, trying to throw max power, it's hard to figure out exactly the right nose angle and hyzer. I didn't honestly feel too bad about how far I got this. Probably got about 50 feet. And I just cannot believe that that putt didn't stick. The wind was pushing pretty much directly from the left to the right, and I thought I played it perfectly to drop in that par. Would have been a really good birdie. On to hole number 9, which 290 feet straight ahead, just telling myself, hit a line. And even though I didn't, somehow we got a little bit lucky, but sometimes that luck isn't always going to work out fully in your favor. And by not work out fully in your favor, I mean you just release the putt high and it's a headwind, so it lifts it, and then you don't get the birdie that you shouldn't have gotten anyways. I missed the drive on hole number 10, which is the same as hole number 1. Did not have the same drive as hole number 1, so it's okay that we missed it. GoPros are acting a little bit funky. I keep breaking something with them, but we'll get it figured out for the next one. Have this putt here for the birdie. Just don't even know what that was, so wind up with the par, which is not the end of the world. Bring us on to hole number 11, back to hole number 2, and I do decide this time to actually go through that center gap with a mid-range on the forehand. Do not trust the signal on a forehand for the life of me. Don't really trust myself turning anything over, so we take the buzz, put it on a little bit of hyzer, but I think I just juiced a little bit too much. Because it's a mid-range, it ends up flattening out, and I just followed through a little bit too well on that forehand, leaving me actually with kind of a better putt than on the first go-round, but neither of them are anything that you'd want. And once again, I'm unable to convert. So moving on to hole number 12, 216 feet. This should be one that I get every single time. But once again, I throw the turnover and throw it even worse somehow. And still don't wind up with the freaking birdie. So, moving back to hole number 4, hole 13, 298, same exact shot. I decided to take the hope again, just on that same turnover line because it's not going to fade out as much as the buzz. There's a little bit of a twig in my way and I don't want to hit the Twizzler. Luckily, we finally make a putt and I've opened up my birdie count on the back nine. So as you can imagine, I didn't exactly hit my line when I shanked it 50 feet to the right. Gonna pitch up the Hope. Honestly, was a little too strained in that. My form is looking so tense and tight. Really just gotta loosen up. Good kick off that tree, a little frustrated with the shot, but we can pitch in for the par. Moving on to the next hole where once again, I'm just gonna take that buzz on a forehand, just like I parked it first round. But this time, I tried to juice a little bit too much, end up turning it over, and this is where things get a little bit bad. I can blame it on the putter, but I mean, I missed the first putt a little bit high because I never got the nose angle correct, and I'm just not spinning it enough. Then the second one, I make the right wind read, which is the worst. The wind is coming off left to right slight head, so it's gonna lift the putter, especially if you put it flat. If you put it with a lot of hyzer, maybe it'll be a little nose down. I was like, okay, I'll put some hyzer on it, leave it out there flat towards the middle of the basket, not exactly where you want to put it. You wanna put it low when it's gonna lift the disc, and I just somehow take a bogey on a 270-foot hole. Berdogi gang for life, you know, sad day. On to hole number 15, again 338 feet, trying to get some redemption with the buzz, end up throwing it out there with a really good shot, but I mean 340 feet with a little bit less of a helping wind than the first round is pretty far, so I leave it about 20 feet short. But really happy to convert on that putt, moving us again into the longest hole on the course. And I'm feeling all right about how I'm throwing. And once again, we're just gonna try out that signal, see what happens. End up getting the nose angle a little bit more right, and we somehow are just about pin high, just about 45 feet. Really want to get this birdie. This would be a really good one. Feel like I got robbed a little bit on the first go around, even though I could have just made a better putt. And that was probably one of the worst attempts that you would ever see. Yeah, I just didn't get that shot. Do you guys know the reason for that?
Elevation.
Okay. That's the excuse? Okay.
Standard Colorado. Elevation. Wind, cold, elevation.
Moving on to the last hole, hole 9, hole 18, 290 feet straight ahead. There's just a line and tunnel to hit, so I say, you know what? Flippy 6-speed, let's hyzer flip it up there. End up throwing a really pretty shot with the signal, just leave it a little bit low, hits a tree and leaves me short, but we got a putt to go 6 down, which I feel like is an alright score, nothing crazy. And it always feels good to bookend your quote-unquote tournament with birdies. So getting the first hole, getting the last hole, awesome time. Massive shout out to my card mates Brandon and Daryl. Was a blast playing with you guys. I really hope we get another round in sometime soon. Hope, solid. It's a little deeper than my peers, so putting with it was a little interesting and a little more stable. So I just needed to get more spin on some of the bad putts that I missed, and they like went a lot farther than I'm used to them missing. Signal, fun when I actually threw it a little bit, but I would probably just throw the buzz for the most part anyways. Good disc, don't like the hand feel. Okay, so once again, massive shout out to Another Round for putting this on. It was such a blast, but I forgot to say the sponsor for this video, which is actually me, and you, I guess? Let me explain. All 3 of these discs aren't discs that I'm really planning on keeping. And I get a lot of discs sent to me and I buy a lot of discs for reviews. And so I've wound up with these discs that I was just gonna like sell here locally. But you know what? Most of them are like really nice, like discs that I've either bought for videos like this one, got sent to me for videos like this one, or play tournaments just like this one. We got the signal right here and the Hope. So honestly, instead of just like trying to sell all these locally, I am going to put mystery boxes together on my website. First link down in the description. I also still have a bunch of my own stamped discs right over here. All these are for sale, like these fuses. And I have some MVP Axiom on the way as well. But I only have 46 of these because I have like 140 discs here. But if you go to my website for $33 shipped anywhere in the US, which is essentially $25 for the discs plus $8 for the shipping, which probably averages out. A lot of shipping is more expensive, some of it's a little bit cheaper. You'll get 3 discs from here, which I'll try to split between driver, mid, and putter. Not always gonna be the case, but at least 1 mid and putter and at least 1 driver, and there'd be a max of 1 base plastic disc in there. So for instance, if I was just to pull randomly, I have Legacy Clutch, which I putted with in my Legacy video. We'll pull one of the mids, Z-Buzz, which is premium plastic, and then a fairway or a driver. This is a blade from Gateway. So random discs that all of these have been in videos. This was in my Gateway video, mystery box video, Legacy video, and all of these are discs that most of them were either sent to me. Some are actually still new because I didn't actually need to use them, but most of them are used. So of course I still have my discs for sale, but I just figured this would be a fun way of me getting rid of these discs pretty easily because hopefully 4 to 6 of you guys want to buy these tonight. But as I keep accumulating discs, company continue to send them out to me, or I buy them for reviews. I'll do these maybe, I mean, this is probably like 4 months of accumulation, maybe a little bit more. So probably once or twice a year, I'll end up doing these big mystery box drops. So go ahead and pick some up now. I would throw in minis, but I actually am completely out of minis and I need to rebuy some more of them. I think that's it. I don't know. Oh, why do I look like a caterpillar? I have a lot more of these style videos coming, a couple more fun tournaments, and then my tournament schedule is gonna start in May. I'm already signed up for a few, really can't wait, but a lot more field work to go. If you wanna watch the last video of this style, it was a tags match, the first one I did in Denver. Check it out right down here. A lot of fun, I had to build kind of a new bag for it. But yeah, that's that, go practice. Okay, love you, bye.